Fox 19 now presents Movies with Mitchell on Fox 19 Now Plus.
Well, hello and welcome to Movies with Mitchell, where we're bringing cinema to the Queen City. I'm Caroline Gerhardt.
And I'm Mitchell Davey.
So excited to have you back here with us for episode 2. And we are very excited about this one. We are talking about Golden Globe nominations today. We decided we didn't want it to be a 3-hour-long episode, so we're just going to be focusing on the movies. We're not getting into the TV part. But tell me a little bit about some of the things that you see historically with Golden Globe nominations compared to other award shows.
Yeah, so the two big awards contender shows are really Golden Globes and Oscars.
Right.
They cannot be vastly more different, though, even if they tried. I feel like, as we were discussing before we went on air, Oscars tend to be more streamlined, more of the big names that you really know and love and are supporting.
Right.
Gold Globes is a little bit more out there. They kind of nominate performances in movies that you aren't even aware of, probably aren't on your radar. So I think it's kind of fun to see the differences between the two.
Yeah, I was telling Mitchell before we got started that prepping for this, so many movie names, I was like, I didn't know that this was a movie this year. And with people names that you recognize, but you just don't realize that these movies came out. So it's a cool way to kind of explore movies that maybe otherwise you wouldn't have gotten to
Absolutely,
see.
yeah.
All right, we're going to jump right into it. We're starting with one of the big guns, Best Motion Picture Drama. The nominees for that category are Frankenstein, Hamnet, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and The Secret Agent. Now, if you've already seen episode 1 of Movies with Mitchell, we talked about a few of these movies already, but I want to hear your take on what you think about the nominees in general, and then who you think might take this category.
Yeah, I think that the Golden Globes does it a little bit weirdly compared to other award shows. There's a lot of movies on here where I'm like, they're really, really good. I love all these movies, but none of them scream out to me specifically as like awards front runner, really.
Right.
So I think for me, I would say what will win, it's probably between Frankenstein and Sinners. I think those are the two big names this year, really have a lot of support and camaraderie behind them.
Yeah.
What I would love to see win, either Sinners or Sentimental Value. I love Joachim Trier and Renata Reinsve and Elle Fanning in that film. I think it's just really magical. But Sinners is that kind of prime-time cinematic experience that we all know and love from this year. I know.
Yeah, Sinners, I mean, it had so much hype around it when it first came out. It was incredible. I loved watching it. But I know Sentimental Value really has a lot of, it almost has like an underground following behind it. It seems everything that I've seen about it is absolutely incredible. And I know we talked about It Was Just an Accident too, but we'll get into this in a little bit later in a few categories. But there's an international, non-English language category, and there are movies that are nominated in the more traditional categories that are also nominated in that category. Do you think that hurts their chances a little bit because they're kind of up for a similar award twice almost?
I think it actually helps the award in that chances. In the case of It Was Just an Accident, I believe that is nominated for international feature as well. So I think if you can kind of broach different categories, it actually like strengthens your chances in one respective category over another.
Interesting. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Next, we're moving to Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. I have lots of thoughts about this category because you'll see in a second. It's an interesting conglomeration of titles. We've got Blue Moon, Begonia, Marty Supreme, No Other Choice, Nouvelle Vogue, and One Battle After Another. And when I first went onto the Golden Globes website and read all of these movies, I was like, how is this musical or comedy? Blue Moon makes sense.
Makes sense.
It's about Rodgers
funny,
and Hammerstein.
It's musical,
Yes, but pretty much all, I mean, especially, we were chatting before, One Battle After Another.
Infamous comedy, One Battle After Another. Yeah.
I mean, like, just slapstick. You're crying. You're laughing so hard you're crying. Obviously, we're being facetious. So what do you think about all of these movies with very different themes up against each other?
Yeah, I think this is more of the comedy side than the musical side. As mentioned, or as noted, Wicked and Testament of Anne Lee, two of the most pronounced musicals of the year overall, are not in here, which is shocking. But I think in this category, it's either going to be One Battle After Another or Marty Supreme will win. What I would love to see win, I loved No Other Choice. I think it's a very dark comedy, so that does make sense in terms of the comedy side. Don't know if it has enough strength behind it to really like push across the finish line. But One Battle After Another is, bar none, just one of the most popular films of the year. Definitely an awards front runner.
What do you think about Testament of Anne Lee being snubbed for this category?
I think it actually kind of hurts its chances. I think Amanda Seyfried is probably its shining star at this point, but we'll see.
Oh, goodness. All right. We're moving on to Best Motion Picture Animated. And this one, there are some years where a lot of the titles people aren't familiar with, at least I'll admit I'm not familiar with. But this year, it's a lot of massive movies. We've got Arco, which we talked about in our first episode, Demon Slayer, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, the infamous K-pop Demon Hunters. Parents, if you're watching, are like, please don't say that too loudly. Little Amelie and Zootopia 2, which so many of these movies have had such massive followings. Zootopia 2, obviously, people have been waiting for that one for a very long time. What are you thinking? I mean, I know that people will see this and immediately think it's going to K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah,
I think, unfortunately, this is a year where just the star power alone is going to carry that across to the awards finish line. Do I think it should win? Probably not. I think that K-pop is a little bit weak thematically and story-wise and structurally, but I cannot deny the impact that it's had. I think what should win, I loved Arco, I love Zootopia 2. One of those two special films really should probably be the front runner, but you can't argue with K-pop. I mean, you can't even fight it at this point.
It is literally everywhere for people who, like, I don't have children, and I'm like, it's all I see.
It's all you see,
and hear.
And
I will say some of the music is
it's
pretty
really good.
So it's definitely warranted for it to win something. I'm curious to see if something else might come up and snatch it. It'll be interesting. All right, coming up next, we've got Best Motion Picture Non-English Language. For this one, the nominees are It Was Just an Accident, No Other Choice, Sentimental Value, Sarat, I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, The Secret Agent, and The Voice of Hind Rajab. So again, we're already seeing some repeats from previous categories here. I know The Secret Agent it has kind of come into the zeitgeist a little bit late, but I've just recently in the last week seen things popping up about it. So what are you thinking about these nominees?
Yeah, I've seen all of these except for The Voice of Hind Rajab. I think they're all incredible films. Sirat is a very different film, so I'd say if there's one that probably won't be the front runner, it's probably that one. It's a little bit hard to get into. I'd say what will win, probably It Was Just an Accident. I think that being nominated for Best Motion Picture Drama actually helps it because that's name recognition, a bigger category. So for the smaller one, it kind of makes sense and is well deserved. What I think should win, It Was Just an Accident, or Sentimental Value, or Secret Agent even. I think they're all just incredible, very different films, but very stand out in that way.
And I mean, they are consistently, and you'll hear in a second, for the actors and actresses that are in them. They're all nominated in almost every category in all three of those movies. So obviously they had some big campaigning going on behind the scenes for that one. I think that one could end up being a really competitive category this year. All right, we've got Best Performance of a Female Actor in a Drama. First is Eva Victor from Sorry Baby, Jennifer Lawrence, Die My Love, Jessie Buckley in Hamnet, Julia Roberts, After the Hunt, Renata Renzi from Sentimental Value, and Tessa Thompson from Hedda. And this is something that we were just discussing earlier, that the actors and actresses nominated this year, you're seeing that movie title for the very first time with those nominations, with the majority of actresses in this category in particular. So with that being said, what do you think about these now? I mean, it's incredible actresses, like lots
across
of star
the board.
power.
And very different films, I'd say. Seeing Sorry Baby here is awesome because I was a huge fan of that when I saw it at Sundance at the beginning of like last year. And I didn't ever think it would be like awards recognized or nominated, but Eva Victor was incredible in that, so I'm excited to see her here. And even Jennifer Lawrence in Die My Love is not a traditional pick in that sense because it's a very out there movie. I'm a big fan of her work, glad to see her here as well. We kind of talked about how we're seeing movies that aren't traditionally recognized in other categories as mentioned, like Hedda or After the Hunt, for example. But in terms of what will win this category, I do think that Renata Reinsve for Sentimental Value has the frontrunner status, but what I think should win is probably either Renata or Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, both very dramatically kind of inclined performances.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Golden Globe usually goes for the more dramatic performances compared to the Oscars, which might pick something that even in a dramatic category has a little bit more quirk, for lack of a better term to it. That'll be interesting. But I remember when I first saw this list, I was like, some of these movies, and
you're not even aware of,
After the Hunt, I had seen a trailer for a really long time ago, and I completely forgot that it existed, which it has so many of my favorite people like Julia Roberts and Iowa Debris and Andrew Garfield, and so I was like, I need to put this back on my
my
movies to watch list. It's so bizarre. So speaking of, we're moving to male actor in a drama best performance. We've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in The Smashing Machine, Jeremy Allen White in Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, Joel Edgerton in Train Dreams, Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, and then Oscar Isaac in Frankenstein, and Wagner Moura in The Secret Agent. Again, lots of these movies that we're just seeing for the first time in this category. And I know I'm going to let you talk first about what you're thinking, but I know what I think for this category.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the strange picks here, like Dwayne Johnson, Smashing Machine, Jeremy Allen White, Joel Edgerton, who are seeing those films that aren't traditionally recognized elsewhere. I think what you can say for them is they are the best parts of those movies. Overall, I don't think they have like the star power behind them to carry them to the frontrunner status. I'd say Michael B. Jordan or Oscar Isaac will win, should win.
Michael B. Jordan in Sinners was just
so good.
I don't think I have ever seen somebody pull off playing a twin like that so intently. I mean, that movie is just absolutely incredible. Yeah, so I feel like he might have that one in the bag. It'll be interesting to see if somebody else pulls through. But we talked a little bit about the fact that for some of these actors, the nomination is just kind of like okay, you did the thing, you know, and maybe it's not what you expected it to be because you were the best part of it, but you did the thing. So they'll take it for what it's worth, I guess. They made millions of dollars, so I think they're going to be okay. All right, we're moving to best performance of a female actor in a comedy or musical. We've got Amanda Seyfried in The Testament of Anne Lee, Chase Infinity from One Battle After Another, Cynthia Erivo in Wicked for Good, Emma Stone in Bugonia, Kate Hudson in Song Sun Blue, and Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Again, some of these that we're just seeing for the first time. I know that obviously Wicked for a lot of people has been, I love Wicked, I grew up with Wicked, I think Cynthia is absolutely incredible, but this is a really tough category to be in.
I'd say that Emma Stone, for all the acclaim that she's garnered, you don't really see her out there campaigning or kind of interviewing for that kind of award. So I'd say that for her, I love her performance, but I don't think that's going to be enough to really get her to that award. I'd say that Chase Infinity has a lot of support behind her. Cynthia Erivo does as well. Kate Hudson, a little bit iffy on that as well. I'd say
I was kind of shocked to see that nomination. Not that I haven't seen Song Sung Blue yet. I have plans to go see it. But I just seeing it in this category against these, it was a little shocking to me.
I definitely think it's either Amanda Seyfried or Rose Byrne. I saw Amanda Seyfried's performance in Anne Lee earlier this year, and it was mind-blowing. And Rose Byrne has been kind of sweeping up those little individual awards throughout the year. So two star powers fighting off against each other. We'll see what happens.
That'll be interesting one too. I mean, all of these, because there's like there's not a whole lot of like unknowns in a lot of these categories. It'll be really interesting to see. We're moving on to best performance of a male actor in a comedy or a musical. We've got Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, George Clooney in Jay Kelly, Jesse Plemons in Bugonia, Lee Byung-hun in No Other Choice, Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another, and then Timothée Chalamet in Marty Supreme. And talk about a category. I mean, this is like some of the most well-known, well-respected actors in Hollywood vying for the same award, and I don't even know what to really say about this. I mean, it's all incredible movies, and it's all incredible.
All incredible movies, all incredible performances. I think at this point, though, it's DiCaprio versus Chalamet going head-to-head. Would love to see Ethan Hawke come in a third-act plot twist.
Me too.
Who knows if that's going to happen? I would love for it to happen, but I'm not a fortune teller at this point. I can't really predict that, but I'd say those are the two frontrunners for sure.
I've seen so much about. I mean, obviously, I think even though he's won his, he's started to win, everybody wants Leo to win because everybody just loves him.
Comes with the territory.
But it'll be interesting if Timothée Chalamet gets the opportunity to be in front of a mic again, what he would say after the last time. But I guess we'll have to see. All right, we're moving on to supporting female actor in, and this is across drama and comedy or musical. I always forget that. We've got Amy Madigan in Weapons, first time we've seen that title. Ariana Grande in Wicked for Good, Elle Fanning in Sentimental Value, Emily Blunt in The Smashing Machine, Inga Ibsdottir, Lilius in Sentimental Value, and then Tiana Taylor in One Battle After Another. What do you think about the Weapons nod in this category?
That's a crazy choice. I think it's deserved, though. Amy Madigan is incredible in that movie. We've been saying it all year across the board. Just really deserving of a horror movie like that to be recognized in a category like this.
I kind of thought the same thing, and I think it was the Golden Globes giving that movie its due in this category. And again, similar to best non-supporting, I guess, the best performance female actress. it'll be interesting to see if Wicked gets any kind of
Right, that's
award.
the one kind of dark horse in this category. Will they give it to Ariana Grande with that campaign behind her, with that narrative behind her? Who
I mean,
knows?
because obviously the campaigning for that movie in general
it's
has
huge,
it's been massive. All right, we're moving on to supporting male actor, best performance. Adam Sandler and Jake Kelly, Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein, Paul Mescal in Hamnet, Sean Penn in One Battle After Another, and then Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value. What do you think about this? Because, again, lots of incredible actors, lots of incredible performances. I thought the Adam Sandler nomination was really cool.
Really cool, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really expected him to get nominated for this.
Absolutely. I'd say that it's between will win and should win, the One Battle After Another duo, Benicio del Toro or Sean Penn, or Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein could be that kind of sweep in at the end.
Yeah, I know that obviously we didn't get into the smaller categories of special effects, makeup, and stuff, but I think that his transformation as an actor is so incredible in that movie too. That might be able to pull him over the top in that category, which would be interesting. All right, we're moving on to Best Director of a Motion Picture. We've got Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein, Jafar Pahani for Joaquin Trier from Sentimental Value, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Ryan Coogler for Sinners, and then we have, Jafar Panahi for it was just an accident. Oh my goodness, I can't speak in this category apparently. And I think it's interesting to talk about for a second the difference between the actual nominating or awarding the best picture versus the best director, because I think sometimes people get that
kind of conflate
confused.
the two.
Yeah.
I think that there's a careful amount of control required to win best director, where you have that commanding presence behind the camera. You make it known, here's what my product is, I know what I'm doing. So in that sense, I think Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, or Ryan Coogler from Sinners really stand out from the rest of the competition, where they really showcase that prowess. I mean, you've seen Sinners, you see that one musical scene where it moves through that crowd.
It is
incredible.
So incredible.
Would love to see some love for Guillermo del Toro. I don't know if it's his year, but we'll see.
I know. Ryan Coogler, I heard him give a talk, I think it was to a group of film students, about the way that he crafted Sinners and the photography behind it and everything, and just hearing him speak about it, it's
incredible.
You can tell that there was so much hard work and passionate thought put into it. So I'm pulling for him on that one. All right, next up we've got Best Screenplay. Hamnet, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. And again, I'm always really interested in screenplay as a journalist, as a writer. The different ways that these characters are able to be built just through their dialogue alone. I think that I was a little surprised to see a film like One Battle After Another be in this, because typically more action-heavy movies don't get recognized in Best Screenplay.
And I'd say that's the one kind of standout for this category for me too, in kind of an odd way, because One Battle After Another isn't really a character like drama in that sense, where it's a lot of complex characterization. You get that, but it's through different kind of lenses with directorial, acting, and cinematography. I'd say the screenplay on this list that really stands out to me as like really rich and complex is Sentimental Value. It's a really touching story about parent-child relationships. The character work is just so vivid and well realized, and it's just such a good movie.
I hope that if it doesn't pull through for any of the other categories, that it gets recognized for this one. Absolutely. Hopefully that happens. All right, we're moving on to Best Original Score. We've got Frankenstein, F1, One Battle After Another, Sirat, Sinners, and Hamnet. And I know score, I love music, and I think that score has so much to do with the making of an incredible film. But again, lots of different types of movies in this category. What are you thinking for this?
I think for me personally, what I think will win and probably should win is Ludwig Göransson for Sinners. I think there is no other movie this year that used music in as visceral or impactful way as that one did. I mean, it's a core tenet of that movie's storytelling capability.
Absolutely. I don't want to just say Sinners for everything.
Yeah, everything.
I hate when like, I shouldn't say I hate it, but I always love an underdog. So
kind of like different picks in different categories.
I want to see different movies recognized for different things, but I really think Sinners has the opportunity to like sweep a ton of categories this year. All right, I have very, very strong feelings about this next category, so I will be on a soapbox in just a second. We've got Best Original Song. The nominees are Dream Is One, that's Miley Cyrus from Avatar, Fire and Ash, Golden, K-pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You, Raphael Sadiq in Sinners, No Place Like Home in Wicked for Good, The Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good, Train Dreams from Train Dreams. And I, as somebody who has loved Wicked my whole life, I did not like either of these songs.
Yeah.
I told Mitchell that when I saw it in the theaters with my friend, when The Girl in the Bubble started playing, I was like, could we have been more on the nose? And you could tell that it was just, okay, we're throwing in new songs so that we have new songs to get nominated on.
For sure, yeah.
And the writing in them was just not great. So I don't think either of those should win, obviously. That's my opinion. What do you think should win this category, though?
Complete kind of separate train of thought to you, or similar train of thought. I don't think Wicked deserves them at all in this category, either one. I'd say Golden, K-pop Demon Hunters. It's the one that parents have not been able to escape on the carpool lines, on the commutes. It's like everywhere. I'd say I also love Dream Is One by Miley Cyrus at the end of Avatar. Don't know if that's like the star power or really kind of presence as Golden, so I think Golden's taken this one.
I think so too. Yeah, and parents are going to be like, thanks, you're going to have to play it again.
Another few months of this.
Exactly. I didn't think it was going anywhere anyway, though. All right, and the final category that we are talking about today is Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. There's more than 5 nominees, I should say, in this one, which is interesting too. It's Avatar, Fire and Ash, F1, K-pop Demon Hunters, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, Sinners, Weapons, Wicked for Good, and Zootopia 2. First time we've seen Mission Impossible. This is its only nomination in any of the major categories for this award show. We were chatting a little bit about how do you even determine what cinematic and box office achievement is. It's interesting. I think they had to change the name of this category too because of streaming platforms, and obviously there's streaming movies on this. So what are your thoughts about this category in general first? Because it's kind of strange.
It's a little bit weird. As we were talking about, there's so many different ways you could go with this. Are we talking about box office? Because in that sense, I mean, Zootopia 2 just crossed like 1.5 billion, so that could be going to that. Are we talking about like the theatrical experience itself? Because Sinners in theaters might not have made that much money compared to some of the other nominees, but is that really heightened like theatrical experience?
Right.
Or are we even talking about like Mission Impossible, for example, Tom Cruise leaping off buildings, going on airplanes, stuff like that. So it's kind of like that name is really could go either way. Are we talking about like money or kind of like the cinematic value of a film overall? And I'd say it's really tough to kind of get a handle on like where this is going to go. I'd say you could see Avatar there, you could see Mission Impossible, you could see Zootopia or Sinners. I think those are kind of the standouts. F1 and Wicked, kind of iffy on those. I think there are definite front runners though.
It's interesting too, reading all of those movies next to each other. At first you read them and you're like, what do these have in common with each other? But all of these have had some kind of impact culturally in the last year in some way, shape, or form. Obviously Wicked has taken over like every merchandising possible. Zootopia we've all been waiting for so long. So I think that it'll be interesting to see what actually comes from this category. And I think it could kind of set a tone for like what was the year in movies.
What was like the standout from the year?
Yeah, and you know what? We didn't plan this, but speaking of, it's the new year.
Right.
What was your favorite thing that you saw from 2025 in movies? And what are you looking forward to see in 2026? Not necessarily a specific movie, but just in general, like thematically. I
think for me, it was the use of music in such a present way. I think we had great movies over the course of last year that really used music in a visceral way. Sinners, as I mentioned. Testament of Ann Lee was another standout where that music really just got to you and made you feel like you're a part of the story. So I'd say that was a really cool element from this past year. What I'd look forward to in the next year is maybe more character work, using more characters and their complex dynamics to tell those stories.
I love it. Yeah, I totally agree about music. There was a lot of music intertwined. I think that could make Best Original Song and score really interesting this year at the Golden Globes. All right, that is it for the Golden Globe nominations. I mean, I know I'm going to be, especially after all of this in-depth stuff that we've done, I'm going to be glued to my television that night. Mitchell, where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, they can find me on Letterboxd, Instagram and Twitter at MoviesWMitch, and YouTube at Movies with Mitchell.
Perfect, and you can find me at C. Gerhardt News on Facebook and X. And I kind of want to hear if you really agree with us on any of this, reach out to us. If you really disagree with us, maybe don't reach out to us. I'm just kidding. I want to hear your thoughts about what you guys think is going to happen at the Golden Globes. All right, thanks so much for joining us for this episode of Movies with Mitchell. We'll see you next time.
This has been Movies with Mitchell on Fox 19 Now Plus. Presented by Fox 19 Now.